Hi teachers, this video is going to explain some ins and outs with assigning things in Moby Max because while it is easy to assign things, they don't quite always go where you want them to go for students. So there's two big ways to assign. Moby now has this quick access toolbar that pops up on the left when you're in Moby Max, and if you click on the assign lessons button, you now can, this is a quick way to assign. So you simply search for your topic. Let's say you are teaching about quadrilaterals. So if you do this, and then up here, it automatically selects math, but if it doesn't recognize the subject, you can change the subject, and then you can also change the grade level. Okay, it's not finding any quadrilateral for grade 4, but maybe I want to pull those lessons from grade 5. So here I can assign, it's plane figures is the topic, it's 3 lesson topics. I would simply select which one I want to assign, and when I click assign, at this point it's going to have me choose my students. So I would choose students. You can select students by classes if you have classes in Power School. They should show up under shared classes. Then over here on the left, you can select the sequence. Now here's where you have to be aware. Numbers 2 and 3 can look different for students. So you can select to put it at the top, after their current lesson, at the bottom of the sequence of lessons. So that means that it will go at the bottom of the lessons Moby has automatically assigned them, or by the lesson's grade level. So if a student maybe pre-tested low and has a lot of lessons from the prior grade level, by grade level it won't pop up until they get there. Now normally you would think, okay, put it at the top. However, if a student already has that lesson or lessons in that topic assigned by MobyMax, which are assigned automatically, Moby is not capable of taking that lesson out of the student stream and moving it to the top. So for every student that doesn't have that lesson in their upcoming stream, it will go to the top. But if a student already has that lesson in their auto-assigned stream, it won't go to the top. Okay? The second thing to understand is the student display options. So normally you would think, okay, I click on I want it to go to the top, I want it to go on their assignment tab, and then I set a due date. Some students are reporting, hey, the lesson's not showing up for me on my assignments tab. Why is that? Well, the reason that is because that student already has the assignment somewhere in their auto-assigned lessons. So Moby is not capable of putting that on the assignments tab because it's already assigned somewhere else to that student. So if this is the case, it's somewhere else in that feed and it doesn't show up in the assignment tab, the students can still get into that lesson by simply clicking on the icon for whatever subject this is. So I'm going to X out of this. If I'm a student and it doesn't show up in my assignments tab, but it's a math assignment, I can simply click on math. Now, if it's at the top of my feed, when I click on math, it will start me on that right away. But if it is not at the top of my feed, I will have to go through lessons in order to get to that lesson. And there's not a way students can see how many lessons that they would need to go through. So this is why in Moby Max, you may find at times it is best for students to work through their learning path that is assigned to them, as opposed to only doing assignments provided to them, because Moby Max will always have a learning path assigned to them. You could set time limits or time amounts that students need to work on lessons in MobyMax, and when they're done with that time amount, they simply close out, and when they come back, it will pick up where they left off. Now, if you really want to ensure that every student has that lesson as their next lesson to complete, unfortunately, that's not an easy thing to do. What you would need to do is click on that subject, and if you go into the progress, and here you select a student, you will be able to see a summary, progress reports, history of what they've done. And then if we click over to lessons for that student, I can see under the sequence tab all the lessons that they have next. Now I see that it pulled this lines and angles lesson next, but they won't get to triangles until after they do all these K2 lessons. You can move lessons up in a stream, or if you are determined for them to show up on the assignments tab, you would have to trash can the lesson and reassign the lesson so that it shows up on their assignments tab. However, you will have to do this student by student, and there's no easy way to see what each student has in their feed. You can toggle through the students this way to see what students have to do next. One other issue that some people run into is when you assign lessons. So when I assign lessons, if I assign the whole category or the whole topic at once, it is going to assign all of these lessons. Families oftentimes don't realize how many lessons are actually assigned and may report, hey, they still show this as assigned, we did those lessons. Well, the reason why is because there's still more parts to that. So they would have to work through all this before this disappears from their feed. Now, what happens if you assign not all of these, but you assign 3 of them today, and then the next day you assign 3 more? MobyMax will not create a new assignment on their assignment tab because it can only list the topic. It can't list the individual lessons. So again, a student can still get to individual lessons by clicking directly on the icon. If you have any questions or you need MobyMax to walk through it, you can call MobyMax directly in order to get some help. So if you click the help icon in your account and click contact us, there is a number right here at the top. You are more than welcome to call MobyMax at any time and have them walk you through things on your account and answer questions that are specific to your account.